House Speaker Mike Johnson joins me now. So, Speaker, I mean, there was an opportunity to have a prayer on the House floor today. It didn't even happen. There was just yelling and screaming. I mean, what's this country come to?
It was a sad day on Capitol Hill. It was, Jesse. We're all still kind of in shock. I mean, you know, there are many Republican members in Congress who are friends with Charlie. He was a good friend of mine. I mean, he was a man of deep faith, as you know. He and I talked about that a lot. He was a man of deep conviction. I mean, I think he brought more productive content to the free marketplace of ideas than anybody in his generation. He was a singular talent. He'll be greatly missed, and it doesn't even seem real tonight, honestly. But the mood in Congress today was something unlike I haven't seen since that shooting that involved the congressional members on the baseball field that Ron DeSantis was just referring to. I mean, a really somber mood and hard to describe, really. I led the chamber in a moment of prayer and quiet reflection, which is the custom in the House. And then a motion was made on the floor to have a vocal prayer, and it turned into an argument. You know, that's where our politics are in the country right now. We have got to turn the heat down a little bit. We got to have civil discourse. The great tragic irony about this, one of the tragedies, is that Charlie represented that, the best of it. I mean, he's the guy that was the champion out on the front lines having the debate. But he loved on the people that disagreed with him, right?
Yeah,
he didn't regard them as enemies. That was the whole point. He loved it, and he loved the debate. He loved the exchange, and he loved the people that were on the other side of the table. And that's what's so important for us to remember. We shouldn't regard one another as enemies. We're fellow Americans, and we should have vigorous debate. But it cannot lead to political violence. It's just too much.
You know, as sharp as his tongue was, and it was sharp, he had such a gentle soul. And he embraced his political opponents, if you can call them that, like they were his brother, they were his sister. They could have it out and ask each other questions. And then afterwards, they could kind of have a laugh about it. You know, we kind of mixed it up, and that was fun. And we'll see you back here next campus tour. I mean, that's kind of what this country's been all about since the founders, since the Lincoln-Douglas debates, since presidential debates. I mean, this is what we do on Fox. I mean, it's a cable channel where we just debate on the 5 with other people, and then afterwards, maybe we'll go get a drink. Why can't we do that? Why is there such a threat to free speech in this country?
You know, I think part of the dynamic now that did not exist in previous generations is social media. It's really been a toxin in politics, and it's made it a much more sort of hostile environment to have those kind of discussions and debates, and we lament that. I mean, it's a sad development, but we've got to develop as the technology does, and we have to address it. We have to address the humanity of people. We have to recognize that there is this sort of level of civility that we have to maintain. It's part of the fabric and tradition of America. They've always had vigorous debates. I mean, they had vigorous debates at the founding of the country 250 years ago, but they did not regard one another as enemies, and they were able to work it out and still be friends and colleagues. And we've got to bring that spirit back. I mean, I think leaders on both sides of the aisle need to do that. And this is a moment. I think something changed today. I really do. There's a different kind of mood now on Capitol Hill and around the country. And I think it's an opportunity for us to speak truth into that. Let's talk about the founding principles of America that Charlie Kirk was a champion of, our Judeo-Christian foundations, the moral consensus that makes us who we are in a country. That's really important for us to talk about, especially on the eve of the 250th anniversary of the greatest nation in the history of the world. This is not who we are.
I feel the gravity of the moment you're talking about. I know you do, your colleagues do, and millions of Americans do. But what if the other side doesn't? What do we do? What if they don't get it? I mean, you look at some of these other cable channels, they don't get it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And some of the things that have been said on the leftist, networks is just, it's incredible, outrageous. I hope they regret some of the things they were saying on live television. I hope that they'll come back and apologize for that, but maybe they won't. But I tell you what we need to do is spend time trying to see one another as people again. Somebody said it's hard to hate someone if you know the names of their children. Mm-hmm. It's about relationship, right? And our job in Congress is to convince the people on the other side of the aisle that our argument is correct. Charlie was a great model for that because he never shied away from debate, but he never hated the guy that he was debating. That was the key. He believed in the biblical admonitions. You know, there's a passage in the New Testament that says all of us as Christians, believers, we're supposed to be engaged ultimately in the ministry of reconciliation. What does that mean? It means that you leave the door open to reconcile with those who disagree. And that, you know, a gentle word and a gentle admonition is better than returning fire for fire, right? Sometimes we got to remember those principles. And I think Charlie was one of the best at it. Yeah, he had sharp debates, but he always went and was willing to put his arm around the person that he was debating. And the reason that he was so engaged and so passionate about what he did, Jesse, I know he and I talked about this, is because he genuinely loved everybody and he wanted to bring them to the truth. Yeah. And he was so effective at doing it. And I don't know if anybody will be able to fill those shoes.
Yeah, well, no one on our side is going to start shooting anybody. We know that for sure. You're saying there should be gentle admonition. I think maybe it could be a little bit more firm this time so they get it, because sometimes they need a little to understand. Very good talking to you. Very sad day. May peace be with you.
It is. Thanks, my friend. You too.
Value.